On this sample product page, we'll be testing different kinds of advanced functionality of Visual Website Optimizer, such as CSS testing, jQuery API, and testing of different similar elements consistently. First, let's test the layout of this image here. Let's see whether this image looks better on the left or on the right. For this, we'll add a CSS section. To add a CSS section, click on the advanced code mode here and then click on add a new section manually. Give name of a section and then select type of the section as inline or external CSS. Okay. Create a variation. What CSS section does is that it applies any CSS rules that you write in a variation to the page if that variation is chosen. For example, we are adding a style rule that says that float the image to the right. If this variation is chosen, this styling information will be applied to the page and image will be floated to the right. Similarly, we can test for the size of this pricing information here. So for this, we'll also again use the CSS section. In addition to CSS, you can also add scripts as variations. So to increase the size of the pricing information, we'll add a rule. This should be quite simple for people who know CSS or who can do web designing. So as you can see here, we have increased the size of pricing by adding a simple rule. And in addition to testing of styling and font size and color, we can also test for content. The important point to note here is that this content will be dynamic. This pricing will not be static, as we are running tests on different parts of the website. So for different products, this is going to be different. So we cannot just simply add a static variation. So to add a dynamic content, we'll choose the normal way of adding this section to the test. However, we will change the path of this section from a specific one to a generic one, which will hold true for all different pages. For this website, this is the generic CSS path. So to use jQuery for changing the contents of this dynamic content, we'll insert the API. What we are simply doing is that we are extracting the price from the control being whatever pricing exists on that page for any product that the visitor is currently viewing. So we are extracting the price here using the control. and then we are inserting that price into the variation dynamically. So as you will see, here we have buy now for $349, and here we just have the price. A great thing about the advanced functionality is that, as I said, this holds true for any page of your website and not just this particular page. To demonstrate that, we'll browse to a different page. So simply select browse as the selector mode. What this does is that it changes the designer into a mini browser, so you can navigate to a different page and see how your variations look in that page. So we have loaded a different test, and let's check if our variations work on this page. So the layout has changed for this page also. The pricing variation also works, and the buy now variation also works. So we have created generic variations which work for any product on this e-commerce website. To demonstrate the last functionality, we'll be going to a catalog page which contains multiple add to cart buttons. So I will show how to change those buttons so that they have consistent variations. So as you can see, it has multiple add to cart buttons. If we want to test the layout, text, or any other aspect of this button, we want to do it consistently. That is, we want all add to cart buttons to have the same variation. So I'll show how to do that. First, let's test the color of this button. Add a new CSS section. And create a variation with a different background color. So this is the class of add to cart button. What we are doing is that we are simply changing the background color to green. So it has changed all add to cart buttons to green. This was style testing, but what if we want to test the text itself? So let's go to design mode again and select this button into the test. Now again we'll change the path. This is a generic, this is a specific path of that particular button which we have chosen. It will only change that button, but we want all buttons to change. So we'll add a generic CSS path from button. And we simply change the text from add to cart to buy now. As you can see, it has changed text for all buttons on the page. So this is the consistent testing that I was talking about. This will also work for specific product pages. So your buttons will remain consistent for the visitor all across his experience with your site. That was it. That was the advanced functionality in Visual Website Optimizer. I hope you enjoyed this screencast.